Welcome back. Well, hours after a teenager from Odisha died of severe burn injuries at AIIMS Delhi, new developments have added a twist to the Puri Balanga minor burn case. Initially, three men were believed to have set the victim on fire, but the police has now claimed that no other person was involved. And the victim's father has released a video claiming she ended her life due to mental distress. The girl was admitted to AIIMS Bhubaneswar with 75% burn injuries on the 19th of July and airlifted to AIIMS Delhi later that day. Despite all efforts by the government and medical specialists, her life could not be saved, as confirmed by Chief Minister Majhi. Minutes later, the Odisha Police stated that their investigation into the burn case had reached its final stage. And according to the investigation conducted thus far, no other person was involved, without clarifying how the girl was set on fire. But eyewitnesses claim three men were involved in the crime, adding that locals rushed the girl to the hospital. What led to the victim's death? Was it self-inflicted under duress, or was it foul play? That's exactly what we are going to try and figure out, and perhaps even discuss with our guests. Shamshavish Rain, lawyer, Supreme Court, with us on the program. Vrinda Adige, activist, is also joining us on the program. Dr. P.S.V. Rao, consultant surgeon, with us on the show as well. Vrinda ji, I'll begin with you. I hope you can hear me. Vrinda ji?
Yes, I can.
All right. What is your first impression of what's happened over here? Very often, more than not, we speak about such violations and people being put through profound amounts of pain. And this is just another case where at least the background is very, very murky at this point in time.
You're absolutely right, the word murky. And this is a classic case of gender-based violence. The three witnesses who claimed that there were three men involved, and this girl was walking on the street and doused with whatever petrol or diesel or whatever it is and set on fire. So we are looking at a public space, a street, where there are some people who are there. Now, often we know that witnesses don't come forward in most of the cases in India because of the tedious, cumbersome processes that witnesses have to go through as a result of, trying to add evidence to that case, which means it is the job of the police to go and assure that not only the forensic evidence that must come into place, but also who those witnesses are, along with the prosecution and the judiciary, to say that you have to come only one day, finish your witness and go. What the father is saying probably may be because somebody has intimidated and threatened the person, because mental illness, mental ailment, depression, all of these things now have become just passé to name it for women and say she was going through something. So she went all the way there onto that particular spot on the street and did something like this is unbelievable. I can't wrap my head around something like that. She could have done this somewhere else, but she did it there. And we need to give credibility to the eyewitness who are speaking. We must tell the police, don't give us excuses that they are not going to come to the police station. But they were eyewitnesses. And that is how the police got their first story also. So putting all this in place, the word murkier is what we need to reiterate. And now we must ask the state, you have to assure these witnesses to come forward.
What is your impression of this, ambivalent matter, if I can call it that, ambiguous matter, if I can call it that? Shamshavish?
Yes.
What is your first impression of this ambiguous matter?
I would agree to what Miss Brinda has said, that it's not a 15 years old girl set herself on fire, and after a few days when the father comes up and says that no one was involved in the matter and she was mental ill and all, that is something that brings some suspicious in the mind, that it's not easy for a father to come after many days and then tell it to the court. Had it was the fact that she was mentally ill, it would have been the first statement that yes, she was mentally ill, and in fact the neighbors and the relatives of the family also would have made the similar statement. But here it's the father. But let the investigation come up more. And since we have read it in the news that she made her dying declaration also in the hospital in Bhubaneswar as well as here in Delhi. So let that statement come out. Let us see that what she has exactly said. And since a dying declaration also requires signature of the doctor and two more witnesses over there, so only then we would be able to know that what exactly is the status. But yes, looking into the fact that she was a educated girl and a 15 years old girl, what was the reason, why did she killed herself, she poured diesel or whatever on herself, and whether it was it was diesel, so how did she get that get that diesel, everything comes into the picture, because it's not easy for a 15 years old kid to get, and especially a girl. Had it been a boy, he could make an excuse that I have to refill my scooty or my father's asset, and petrol pump actually give them fuel, stating that he's a boy, he can do all of these things. Since the parents of the kids also, especially boys, they ask the boys to get the fuel. But for a girl, no. The so all of that would come under the investigation. And what was her mental state, whether she was harassed in a school or not. I mean, everything has to come up, and what was the exact story, because we have just read bits here and there on the news channel or on the Twitter, but unless and until the complete facts of the case are out, it would be very vague for all of us to speak on it and submit so much on it.
All
Thank you.
right, Dr. Rao, in fact, the initial reports that have come out and have been flagged all over the internet is that the girl, her hands were tied. She came running when, a set of neighbors, they saw her, and she confessed to these neighbors that two men, or rather three men, forcibly poured kerosene on her and set her on fire. How can something like this be completely ignored by the police when they say that no other person was involved? It's completely contradictory to the preliminary findings, and it's obviously very, very clear that there are some powers that be that do not want these three gentlemen or these three people, caught up in this crime.
Good evening to everyone. See, forensic science is about figuring out what happened. Now, the forensic science here can help. Now, if she was put on fire and the hands were tied, there will not be burns, there will be marks of the tie. One. Second, if she has, like the police is trying to just palm it off as a suicide, that is the easiest way of palming off anything without doing a thorough investigation. They should be trying to find out from the video of the nearby petrol bunks as to where this fuel was got, who got it. Did the culprits get it? If you really want to investigate, it is possible to investigate and find out. Third, what is the dying declaration, like Shamsharvish said? This dying declaration is far more important than what the father said or someone else said. It is, and I have been in charge of emergency services in AIIMS. I have a very good idea of what all we used to do for these kind of cases. And the dying declaration is a very important document. And if the doctors have also been part of the fudge, then the doctors also need to be pulled up, because you never know who all have been pressurized, who all have been involved in trying to do trying to pass it off as a suicide. So I would, if I was the investigating officer, I would go and try to find out where the fuel was got, whichever it was, petrol, diesel, whatever it was, and use the video camera there to find out who bought it. I would also look at if there are video cameras available, because nowadays you have got video cameras all over India in various places. So there will be a video recording of who tied her and who poured this thing. It was not in the jungle; it was in a street. So all those things should be investigated. So these are all various clues which will lead to it. And if, like Brinda said, you can try and find out who those three witnesses were who gave a story earlier. Go and assure them, and then find out if they can identify the people who the culprits involved. Now the culprits must be quite influential to be able to either corrupt the police or to politically pressurize the police into hiding these matters. And if the police are now trying to say, and the father is trying to say that she had a mental illness, where is the records? You think the school won't have health records? You think the hospital won't have health records? And it is very easy to pass off someone as depressed and suicidal. It is not as simple as that. This needs proper investigation. This is a botch up. This looks like something to attempt to cover up who has actually done this. And we are having too many of these cases around India. Someone being burned, someone being raped, someone being killed. This RG thing, we have still not heard the last of that RG medical affair. Yes.
All right. Mr. Amresh Panda, former superintendent of police, is also with us on the broadcast. Amresh Panda, I hope you can hear me. Mr. Panda, I hope you can hear me.
Yes.
So, what do you think is going on over here? In fact, the father who later on went to say that his daughter was mentally stressed and distressed also had said earlier that this was a crime and his daughter was put into this position by some criminals and three men. The political turmoil in Odisha has also heated up, with some people saying that since this is the Deputy Chief Minister's constituency, there seems to be some sort of a cover-up that's at display. What do you make of this?
You see, this is the case which occurred in 19 July, and on that morning, what the girl described after rescue, that three persons put her fire after putting kerosene on her body, and she came running to a nearby person who rescued her with his wife. So now thing is that whatever she says from the beginning, the police has to believe, and in this case particularly, as it seems, it is purely a blind case. And from the beginning, there was no eyewitness, and the person rescued also not seen any person, any perpetrator of the crime. And the girl, the victim, whatever she says, police has to believe. And as for that, the investigation proceeds. Now you see, so many statements by police personnel taken from the girl, from the victim, and every statement is not resembling. That is very surprise. And thing is that she was taken to AIIMS Delhi after 2 days, after the second day, and there also on the last 31st July, a court officer from Rohini court, after it was prayed by the IO, taken the dying declaration at AIIMS Delhi, and where she clearly told, and she told in presence of her father. So thing is that it was the perfect dying declaration, because previous statements will not be taken into consideration. So now it was taken only before 2 days, and she died only yesterday. So you have to believe that. In case of absence of any witnesses, eyewitnesses, we have to believe the victim. And the dying declaration was taken in presence of her father. Now her father is telling his statement, and we have to believe that. So thing is that when there is no eyewitness, there is no witness, there is no circumstantial evidence or witness. So in that case, if the investigation is totally based on the statement given by the victim. So this is the thing. And dying declaration in this case, as Dr. Rao said, is the prime facie. That is the only thing. And the matter of surprise is the statement varies. That is, it should not be happen in other cases. So far, it is a very rare case. And in other cases, it is not happening. The same girl, the same victim, changes her statement time to time. So that is the difficult thing happened in this case.
Brindaji, what do you make of the angle that perhaps there was money paid to silence the parents?
Completely agree with it. And I would like to also tell the panelist who spoke just before, you need to understand that her first statement was made to the couple who tried to rescue her. She's 95% plus burns. Can you imagine how the brain would be functioning? You expect her statement to be crystal clear every time, going through that pain of 95+% burns on her body? So whatever she remembers at that point of time is what she has told that couple. Now, what is so difficult for the police to actually retrace the steps? And like Mr. Rao pointed out, hundreds, thousands of cameras on all public places, not only by the police, the state, we also have shops and establishments and apartments. So the job of the police, I'm not denying that the dying declaration is an important document, but let us place this on record. The dying declaration came after a couple of days. By then she's in so much pain, in and out, and I don't know how many times you might have witnessed a patient, but I witnessed many such patients. They are in and out of consciousness because there's morphine given to subside that pain. In between that, you're trying to tell her, now recollect how you were burnt. Now if the couple says her hands were tied, would you want to listen to the couple at all or not? And from there, would you want to retrace? Because right now it shows that the father has also been put on a spot. And I know how hospitals, the doctors, including the police and people who come stand near the bedside of a person who we know for sure is going to die in the next 20 minutes or half an hour is told that, anyway you're going. Why are you going to drag your entire family? They will have to go for the next 20 years. All of this is the state's problem put on that individual and that family. So that apart, we want to still ask the police, you've been trained how to collect forensic and circumstantial evidence. Do that. And then you reach the space of dying declaration. Because you want to listen to what the couple also said or heard from that child, from that minor. Put all of these together because only then we can say that, yes, the police did a thorough job of investigating this crime. Now, both is a crime, no? Suicide is also a crime. According to our law, we can say many things, but suicide is a crime. So both you want to investigate. Don't just palm it off and say, oh, it's a suicide. Because here we know it is the Deputy CM's constituency. He does not want anything bad happening in that place. But your law and order is all in shambles. We are all asking these questions. Odisha has been in the news for quite some time now on gender-based violence on different fronts. So I think it is time that the citizens get to have that confidence that all arms of the state will work in coordination to ensure that culprits are brought to justice, if not a logical conclusion to the case. Okay, this is exactly what it is. The dying declaration adds up to all of these things that have been investigated. Because intimidation, threats, all that is common. You and I know it. And that doesn't mean we should let go of a case because somebody has decided now it is, you can't do anything other than it is suicide. I think it is time for us 78 years down the line to say to women that the state is on your side and we will investigate thoroughly without getting into any kind of patronage of silence, of fear or threat.
You're absolutely right, Brindaji. Shamshavish, you concur that this matter, this case reeks of a cover-up?
Yes, of course, I could look into it since when such kind of a matter comes in, it is the police job to start the investigation from the point one where the girl was found, who all brought that girl in the notice to the police station or the hospital. So everything has to be checked, and if initially a couple made a statement that there were 3 men involved in the matter. So even if the police says that there is no one who is involved in the matter, but these persons should be made a part of the case during the cross examination, because that's a universal thing, that fact will always remain a fact for even after 15 years, 50 years, whereas a lie, the statement changes. So if for whatever reason this couple at the time of making a statement in the court makes a false statement that no, she didn't make any such kind of a statement, but when cross examination comes, people always forget about it, that what exactly was the statement that they made. Had it been a truthful statement that they have made in the court, even if you ask it after 20 years, 30 years, the statement would actually never change. So during cross examination, the real facts can actually come out. So yes, it is the job of the investigation team that they should make everyone a party in this case, starting from the person who have informed about it, the father, these of course the IO also is made a party, sorry, witness in it. So he also comes and makes a statement here. Then it is the FSL report. So whose body was sent over there? In what condition was it? Everyone are made a party in a case, and then during the cross examination, the facts actually come out. So yes, as the earlier speaker said, that it's not easy that a 15 years old girl goes and pour kerosene on her and just burn her. And yes, in the hospital, many times what happens is that when you are given so many medicines, it's you don't recover that what all things has happened to you. Besides that also, even if it is a small blow on your head, it takes time for you to remember what has happened to you, and then who actually did that. So this what happened to this girl, it was in a span of 2 or 3 days only, and she died. So in 3 days, how much did she remembered? What all did she say? So every statement should be kept in mind, and then the trial should start in this matter.
All right. Well, we've run out of time, but appreciate everybody who joined us and shared their perspective on this extremely sensitive matter. We take a short break. We'll be right back.